Welcome back to the channel. I found a resource thanks to one of you that helps a little bit more describe and understand the value of HSIs that are coming back to the HSI auction. I want to explain exactly what I'm talking about with that and then share a resource with you. So let's get right into it. So here is app.icosa.pro. We've been spending a lot of time looking at this project. This is the HSI buyback where you can take your wrapped Hex stake, give it to the Icosa project in return for Icosa. If one of the things you can do with your Icosa when you do that, sell it on the market. Another thing you can do is stake your Icosa in this Icosa staking pool and get yield in Icosa and Hedron. I've been following this yield pool. You can see what the returns have been by going to maximbroadcast.com, and it's been really interesting and fun for me to share what I've been doing and how this project is going with you all. But let's get into this, specifically looking to this HSI buyback function and this particular tool. So when people give their wrapped Hex stakes, which, to be clear, you can wrap your Hex stake. If you have a liquid Hex and you want to wrap it in the Hedron project, you go to hedron.pro, click create Hex stake instance, enter the amount of Hex you want to stake and the length and days, and that's basically where you start. You can go over to actions and click tokenize your stake, and then you can transfer it around and do all kinds of cool stuff with it. One of those things is giving it to this HSI buyback for Icosa. That said, there have been a lot of people, or at least a meaningful amount of HSIs given to this project. And of course, it's important to realize when someone gives their HSI, if you were to give your HSI to this project in return for Icosa, your Hex and Hedron associated with your Hex stake is gone. It is no longer yours. And so don't think that, of course, you're going to keep your Hex and get Icosa. But you have the ability, if you want, to buy it back. So does everyone else. Anyone will have the ability to buy your Hex stake here at hedron.pro. If you go to browse liquidations, you can see the advances in default and then the active liquidations. The active liquidations, there's none in there, so I can't really show you what it looks like, but it's going to look a lot like this advances in default page, where it's just going to be a bunch of lines representing the HSIs, the wrapped Hex stakes that are available to be bid on. So if you give just to be really clear, if you give your HSI to this project 90 days later, it's going to show up on hedron.pro. One of the problems, it's not necessarily a problem, but one of the things that some of us have observed is it's a little bit hard to know what the value of these Hex stakes are. There's just not a ton of information here. And before I get too much farther, I do want to say the only way to buy these back is with Hedron. Hedron is the currency of this liquidation, this active liquidation auction. So if you have Hedron, one of the things you can do with it is buy some more Hex with it. And you could do that here. But as I was saying, there isn't a ton of information, and that's where this tool is a little bit helpful. And I do want to give some credit to Lolsec Hex, because he's the one that made me aware of this particular tool. So thank you for showing me that, and now I get to share this with other people, and hopefully we're all better for it. One thing that I didn't see, I'll show you this now. So this is HSIWatch.com. So what you can do is plug in the Icosa address, click search, and it'll slowly churn through the currently 4,962 HSIs that have been given to the Icosa project and give you some information back. I knew about this. I knew about HSIWatch.com, but I had overlooked a very important feature. This little arrow, these two arrow button right here, I never clicked, and I didn't realize that if I had clicked that, it would have brought this column up right here, which is extremely useful because it tells you if these HSIs have the Hedron bonus. So what is the Hedron bonus? When the Hedron project first came out, if you got in on the first couple days, you would have had a Hedron bonus of 10, and it went all the way back down to 1x. But the Hedron bonus of 10 means that the stakes that were created in that time create on a daily basis. For example, if it's a 10x, they create 10 times more Hedron than that same stake would today if it was created today. That it creates 10 times more. That's an automatic 10x multiple. As clear as that is, it's a 10x multiple on your Hedron for that stake. And so if you're bidding, looking at that pool, it's not immediately obvious what multiple it is. You can do math. You can look at the stake B shares, the served days, and the mintable Hedron, figure out what multiple was used. But even now, looking at this, you don't know what's coming. And if you use HSIWatch.com, you can get a better idea of the hex yield, the Hedron mint, the future mint, the adjusted APY for the stakes, for these hex stakes coming to the Hedron project. And you can just look at a glance and see what the multiple is, so you can do some research. And there are a meaningful portion of these, you can kind of see as I'm just scrolling, that have Hedron bonuses. And so that's pretty cool. It is another reason to consider, I think, paying attention on beginning November 13th. Sunday, November 13th is 90 days from the beginning of the Icosa project, where people first were able to put in their HSIs in order to get Icosa. And I believe on that first day, so 90 days from the beginning of Icosa, so on November 13th, I think there's going to be over 2,000 HSIs showing up here that are going to be able to be bid on with your Hedron, and some of those are going to have bonus multipliers. And now you know a tool for seeing that a little bit more clearly. And I just wanted to share that with you guys as we look forward to this day and some potential opportunity with it. Anyway, guys, that's what I had for you. Just a really quick FYI, a simple tool for you to look at these HSIs with. In the meantime, thanks a lot for watching. I'll talk to you later.